too much luxuriating, too much. But I love the fact he loves Hollywood.
But yes, and again, this one he saved it to the end at least.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
But I think he handles the whole concept of the horror of that traumatic deal.
Yeah. I agree, and
so
I think the fact
I'm liking it more.
Yeah, he wanted to. I just am in glory of he wanted to save Sharon Tate. Like in his head, I'm hoping he wanted to let's just rewrite this so this poor woman could live.
I think that she's an angelic presence.
Yeah.
And I love that about this film because that was a beautiful and Roman Polanski was never the same after that.
No.
Just like
and rightly so.
Just like Peter Bogdanovich was never the same after Dorothy Stratton was killed.
Right. That too.
She was.
I was actually thinking of Coppola's son that was killed. Actually, I went back to The Godfather.
Oh, well, let's go back to The Godfather. So you saw it on the small screen.
I did.
And
I can't even imagine. Okay, and I was a little girl when it came out.
Oh yeah.
Well, you were little too.
Yeah. I didn't
see it on the big screen as a
I didn't see when it came out.
As a youth.
No. As a youth,
and,
I didn't see it.
I can't even imagine on the big screen not knowing that horse's head showing up. I mean, I knew it was coming on the small screen, so
it's a real
it was still shocking.
It's a real horse's head.
But it was sort of like.
They got it from the.
Yeah, I talked to a man on the bus today, when I mentioned the film coming out, I tout it coming out on the big screen Saturday. And he goes, oh my God, he goes, when I first saw that film, he goes, I couldn't talk to anyone for a long time after. No kidding.
No, I know.
He saw it for real on the big screen.
It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
It takes you somewhere else.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
Talia Shire, I think. Her character, as manic and crazy as she is, you just are like, it's amazing acting.
And you know what I love about that story is that Coppola, and this is for filmmakers out there, take note. Never ever think that you're not good enough to do something because Coppola had been hired to write this film and direct this film, and the book was just a runaway bestseller. Mario Puzo wrote it.
Right.
And they go, okay, let's give this shot to Coppola, who had done the screenplay for the George C. Scott movie.
Not Papillon.
No, the war movie. George C. Scott as Patton.
Okay.
And won an Oscar for it. And they said, okay, give him a shot. The book was eclipsing, it was becoming such a bestseller, they wanted to fire him from the get-go at Paramount. And Ally McGraw's husband, Robert Evans, all these big shots were saying, we got to get rid of Coppola, Charlie Bluegard said, over my dead body will Marlon Brando ever work here. They were ready to fire Al Pacino every 5 seconds. Diane Keaton says, I like him. I have chemistry with him. She saved him. They went out in Northern California, which is where the Zoetrope film studio was for Coppola, and they had Pacino. Think about these guys: Pacino, Robert Duvall, and James Caan. And they were doing lines on different parts. James Caan was originally going to play the Michael part. They originally brought in De Niro to play Michael to play the Don. He plays him later in 2. And they said they kept doing tests. He said they could have got these 3 actors for like 3 corned beef sandwiches. That's in the making of the. But they were going to fire. Coppola every day. They had somebody on the set what's it called? A clipboard.
Okay.
And it's like the assistant director was there because they were ready to off him, and he said, at least I put my sister Talia in the film so she'd have a career. I at least had her covered so she could, and she ended up having a great career because of that, and of course the Rocky series.
Oh my God!
So Coppola was so insecure.
Right.
And so William Goldman, the great writer who wrote Butch Cassidy, often says, nobody here knows nothing in Hollywood. They don't know what's going to work.
Right.
They didn't anticipate this.
Right.
By the way, the movie and the film, far superior to the book. The book is a good average. It's a good book. It's not as poetic.
Okay.
Puzo and Coppola wrote a masterful screenplay to 1 and 2. And the source material from the Godfather book is some of the history is made into 2, so it's not really like doing a sequel. It's like taking information that was in the book to go into the young Don and some of which builds, and it's but the way to see it, and I'm very adamant about this, I have to say that, see it in order. Do not go and see it in a chronological way that they do it. They arrange the scenes. The way to see the film is the way it opens up with the Don there with the cat, and on the day of his daughter's wedding, and the Undertaker. And the first line, for the person that calls or lets us know, the first line in The Godfather is what?
I don't know.
I believe in America.
All right.
Done by the Undertaker. It's just so fat.
I love it.
It's such a poet. It's
cool.
Gorgeous. I can watch it on a loop.
I know. I'm excited. I mean, my favorite scene was the hospital scene.
What a scene!
With the record skipping. It's so creepy, but so well done. It was like,
and her voice.
Gorgeous.
Her voice goes, "What are you doing?"
Yes.
She scares the hell out of you.
Love it. Love it.
You know my father? Men are coming here to kill him. Help me.
Oh, and how about the guard outside, like shaking like a leaf when he comes back? Like, he's like,
and that's when you see the transference of the Don, his calmness, and he does his hand is calm.
Yeah. It is beautiful. Now, Coppola just had a red carpet moment for Apocalypse Now. The final cut where this is what he really wanted to have happen.
Oh my
God. Did you know that? It was yesterday.
I would like to see that.
And like, there's very few people left. I mean, Dennis Hopper's dead, unfortunately.
No, I know.
Martin Sheen was there. It was beautiful.
I like that film.
And Coppola's still in. Yeah, he's still.
Well, he sold a lot of wine.
I know. Yeah.
Great filmmaker.
Yeah.
Great filmmaker. Born in Detroit, Michigan, by the way.
Are you serious?
Francis Ford. The middle name is named after Henry Ford.
Aww.
Born in Detroit, Michigan, on the same day as my father, April 7th, and I'm going to goof up the year. But he's born in Detroit. The Ford is after Henry Ford.
So sort of like Gussie Spielberg molasses.
That's it. Exactly.
It all comes around.
I would love.
Your moment is coming.
I would love. That would be my number one. If I could have. I'm gonna put it out there in the universe. He's still my dream to do my dad's film, and because he, to me, he is the greatest living director because of those two films, and the third film. And you can go Apocalypse, you can go other films, and he's done other films certainly, but just because of the Godfather series is enough. He didn't have to do anything else.
Right. All right. We'll tweet him. Let's hope.
Well,
we'll have faith, as Jim Carrey said.
I like the faith.
Let's do it.
You know, the other thing I want to say before we close is there's not a lot of violence in The Godfather. And some people are going to say there's almost 175 minutes in this film. But if you look at the expanse of time in the film, there's a lot of poetry, a lot of poignancy, a lot of soft moments, family.
It's beautiful.
It's not, and there's some major violent moments that are necessary for the plot.
But it's concentrated. I totally
agree. And so he's a less is more guy too.
Yes.
And I think that's why I always put him a little bit above Marty. And I love Marty. I love Goodfellas. Goodfellas is a notch below. It's kind of the wise guys, and then of course the TV version of that is The Sopranos. It's in the same league.
Right.
It's one of the great parts of all time.
It is really good.
So I love it. I could watch it on a loop.
Okay, well,
I have a Godfather problem.
If anyone's listening, 6 p.m. tomorrow night, 500 Televas Road.
Yes.
You can't beat it.
Oh my God.
It's beautiful.
It's cool.
It's a great venue.
Thank you, Ross.
All right. Thank you, Gus.